I think we're live. Okay, good morning. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers, and this is the monthly eCom planning session. We're going to be going through putting together our game plan for the month of February, and we're going to talk about where we are in first quarter. So again, my name is Nicole Whitlock, and my passion is helping people on their e-commerce journey, helping them get focused, get organized, get consistent in their business. And if that's you, I'm here for you. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session. You can go to ecommsellers.com to schedule your free 20-minute coaching session. In addition to that, I want to invite you to join eCom Sellers Academy. It is terribly affordable if you are looking for some e-commerce support on your journey. You can go to ecommsellersacademy.com. Again, ecommsellersacademy.com. And with that, you'll get live weekly trainings, live weekly Q&As, access to our training library of over 200 training videos. You'll get eCom Sellers discounts. In addition to that, you'll also get a free arbitrage leads list every single week and a free wholesale list every single week. So there's many different perks. You can go join at ecommsellersacademy.com. And if you haven't already gotten an e-commerce planner, this e-commerce planner will actually help you put together your monthly plan. So you can go grab the eCom planner. It is the ultimate planner. You can go to myecomplanner.com. Again, myecomplanner.com, and it's ECOM planner.com, 1M. And grab it today. It's going to help you to be able to execute everything that we are going to be talking about in our monthly planning session. So feel free to share this out with a friend. Let somebody else know about it. We're live on Clubhouse. We're also live in the e-commerce planning Facebook group. I'm just clearing some space on my desk because I didn't realize I had this much stuff on my desk. So let's get after it. So if you haven't downloaded the monthly ecom planning checklist, you can go download it directly from the e-commerce planning Facebook group. You can click on files. Once you click on files, you will go look at your menu options. Well, once you go to the Facebook group first, you got to go to the Facebook group. So go to eCommercePlanning.com. Facebook group, e-commerce planning Facebook group. And then once you go there, look at the menu options and you'll see an option for files. And once you click on files, you can go download the daily, weekly, and the monthly planning checklist directly from that Facebook group. So let's get after it. With the monthly planning checklist, if you don't have an e-commerce planner, grab a notebook and a pen. You're going to need that. If you do have an e-commerce planner, go ahead and break out February. Open it up. Let's get ready to plan for February. Now, we are going to do an assessment. There's three things to this monthly planning checklist. The first step or the first component of the monthly planning is to go and do a month-end analysis, month-end review. Now, your month-end analysis, since we are still technically in January, this is something you're going to come back and you're going to do later on. It's going to help you to make some decisions, but there are some pieces of it that you can start collecting information on right now. So the first step will be to do a month-end analysis, and we're going to break that down and what that means. Then the next thing that we're going to do after we do the month-end analysis is we're going to be planning for next month, meaning putting together some ideas about what we're going to do next month and how that affects what we're doing for the quarter. And then the last component that we're going to do is we're actually going to create our new month calendar. So those are the three things, the three big ticket items that we're going to do in order to make sure that we're ready for the month of February and that we're making progress in the first quarter. So let's get started. So grab your notebook. On one page, the first page of your notebook, you're going to write down month-end analysis and review. And I'm going to give you a bunch of things that you're going to use for month-end analysis and review. So you're probably going to use the front and back sheet of that piece of paper. Then on page 2 of your notebook, you're going to write down planning for the new month. And so that'll be a sheet all by itself. And you may use the front and back of that after we talk through it. And then the last page is page 3. And that is, you're going to call that one, create the new month plan, or the new month plan, February month plan, if you want to call it that. In addition to that, you may have a fourth page that kind of does a quarterly analysis. kind of indicates where you are in this journey. So again, you can create a fourth page. That's your quarterly page. If you don't have a notebook and you want to do this all online, this planning online, some of it you can do with a Google Calendar. You can use Google Calendar, and with Google Calendar, if you have a Gmail account, click on the 9 dots and you can open up a blank calendar. You can create your own separate calendar. You can also use tasks, and you can put stuff in Keep. These are all Google Keep and Google Tasks. So you can use those. You can tie those directly to your calendar if you want to, or make notes next to it. It'll pop up on its own next to your calendar. Or you can open up a Google Sheet. And if you open up a Google Sheet, again, the way you do that is to go click on the 9 dots, the Rubik's Cube, I call it. And then once you click on the 9 dots, click on Drive. And then once you click on Drive, that Drive option is going to be on the right-hand side. It'll be a triangle. And then after you click on Drive, a new window will open up. You'll go over to the left-hand side. And this is only if you have a Gmail account. If you don't have a Gmail account, like if you have a Google account, then you can do this as well. You go over to the left-hand side, you click on the big multicolored plus. Once you click on the multicolored plus, then you will choose the option for Sheets. Open up a green sheet. Google Sheets are very similar to Microsoft Excel. So you can open up a Google Sheet, and then once you do that, you'll be able to, at the bottom of your Google Sheet on the left-hand side, there's a small little plus. The first sheet that shows up, it says is sheet 1. So if you want to create 4 sheets, you can. You just click on the tiny plus at the lower left-hand side, and you can create sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, and sheet 4. That will allow you the opportunity to follow along. So hopefully that helps anybody that needed that information. Now let's get after it. In month-end analysis, the first step of that is we're going to review and audit the month that is ending or has just ended. We're going to audit it. We're going to see, what did we complete? What did we not complete? What did we accomplish, or what did we learn? Did we meet or reach our goals? What needs to be added to the next month? So when we're looking at our goals for January, what were your goals? Did you write down some goals? Did you establish any goals? If you didn't, okay, fine. Because this is all part of month-end analysis. So there's like 3 parts, I think 4 parts to month-end analysis. So this is the first part. So what were your top goals for the month, and did you complete them? What were your income producing goals for the month, and did you complete them? What were your admin or VA goals for the month, and your marketing goals for the month? And what were your priorities for the 4 weeks in January? So, 31 days, it goes a little over 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks. And then what were the habits that you were tracking for the month of January for those 4 weeks? Now, I will tell you, for January, we've already completed all 4 full weeks. So we still have 3 more days, but including today, but we've already completed all 4 weeks. So if you want to go do your analysis on how you did for the 4 weeks, you can do that. And then you can add to it after the 31st. Okay. Your daily goals and your daily stats, you want to flip through January if you have the eCom planner and see how you did on tracking your daily goals and your daily stats. Maybe you have a planner. If you don't have a planner, you can still grab one. But how did you do? And did you actually reach them? And if you didn't, you want to make a note. Now, all of that information on where you stand and where you are, you're going to make a note of this in your lessons learned section of your e-commerce planner for the month of January. Lessons learned is a section that's actually in your planner. In addition to that, you have your wins and your accomplishments section that you can populate. So if you reached your goals, fantastic. Put it in your wins and your accomplishments. Even if you didn't reach your goals, let's say you got really close. Maybe your goal was to create 1,000 listings and you got all the way up to 850. Well, that's nothing to balk at. We want to celebrate that. So again, let's go ahead and document where we are with our wins, because 850 is good. And technically, you have 3 more days. You could still get to that 1,000. You got to be committed, but you can still get to that 1,000 if that's your goal. So What did you learn about the month of January? Were there any major disruptions or major challenges? Or was the month of January a piece of cake? Did things work out? I will tell you, sometimes we get derailed, we establish goals, and things don't work out the way that we want them to. And so this is your opportunity to document where you are and what you completed. Now, while you are thinking about all of the stuff that I just mentioned, check and see where you are for the quarter. Where are you for the quarter? Are you trending to be on track? Or are you trending down? Or are you trending ahead of plan? If you're trending down, that means you got to try and play catch up in February and March. If you're trending to be on track, okay, great. Again, either way, we're going to still celebrate the progress that you did make in the month of January. So don't let any of what you didn't accomplish be a setback for you emotionally. You can still do this, and you need to acknowledge and separate the progress that you did make, because it's a wonderful thing. So we're going to celebrate that. Okay. So go through and make those notes, and then you want to summarize your findings in the looking forward section, or anything you feel like you need to carry over into February in your looking forward section of your e-commerce planner. So if you're documenting this in the notebook, you're going to have 3 sections where you have lessons learned, wins and accomplishments, and looking forward, the things that you need to carry forward in the next month. Okay. Things that you feel like, I need to carry this over. All right. So take some time, take 30 minutes to kind of go through and do that assessment of where you are. If you want to wait till you're completely done with the month of January, that's fine too. But if you are at a place where you're like, you know what, we got our 4 weeks, let's write down at least what we have right now. So that'll save you, because then all you got to do is add data for the last 3 days. All right. Next thing in the month end analysis is we're going to review our notes that we took throughout the month that's about to end. So in our planner, we have a brainstorming notes section for the month of January. And we probably wrote some stuff down. We have a sourcing section, because we might have some sourcing ideas that we're going to use. Maybe we wrote down some notes or things that we want to source in February and March. Personal notes, calendar notes, and any of those notes, those things matter. Write down your thoughts, your ideas, or your plans. Because what I encourage you to do is, on a daily basis, write down the things that you think are going to be helpful to you as you begin the process of using your planner, or as you begin the process of, trying to be a strategic seller. Being a strategic seller means, like, when I go out to the store and I see something in the stores on the shelves that I could potentially use in the future, or that I could potentially add to a bundle, that I could potentially sell, or I want to know who the supplier is, I make those notes as I go along. If I have my phone, I can put them into my Keep notes. That's a Google app, or so that way I have it in my notes, that I, write down some sourcing ideas or some product ideas or some bundle ideas and come back to it. I could put it onto my calendar reminder. Well, again, if I have my phone, I can open up my Google Calendar and put it directly there. You can also put it in your e-commerce planner as you're going through. If you're doing monthly analysis, or you're working in your business regular, and then you have an idea that pops in your head, go make a note of it immediately, so that way you don't lose it. And then continue on with whatever the activity is that you're trying to get done, whether it's listing, whether it's product research, whether it's sourcing. So this is a section inside the planner where, if you had ideas or thoughts about sourcing, or ways that you can streamline your business, or what products you should be buying, and who the supplier is, or somebody that's willing to give you a deal, and you had a reminder to come back and connect with them, on the 31st, you populate all of that information in the looking forward section of your planner. The next thing in the month-end analysis is that we're going to go through and perform our month-end notes to close. Month-end accounting tasks or administrative tasks to close out our month. So some of this you're not going to be able to do. You're probably not going to do any of it until after the 31st. So if you want to get started on some of it, you probably could start on it. So your month-end tasks are like running your month-end reports. Remember, like depending on which platform you're on, there's been some reports that there's going to be changes to. So always make a note of when those changes are coming so you're not thrown off. Prepare your tax filing or send your information to your accountant, complete your inventory audit, review your expiration dates, complete your account, bank, and expense reconciliation part of your business, complete your budget updates, and reconcile your budget. So, those are not all of the administrative tasks. You may have some additional administrative tasks that you need to do. Maybe you go through and you recheck your pricing. Maybe you start putting some stuff on clearance or on sale. And then maybe that's a month-end activity for you as well for the things that don't sell. So again, just strategies and approaches to running your business. What are your month-end administrative tasks? And maybe there's some other things. Maybe at the end of the month, you also cross list those things that didn't sell. So maybe you move those listings over from, your Amazon account to, sell them on Mercari or Facebook Marketplace at a different price. I have no idea what your process is, but you want to go through and either begin performing those closeout month activities or write them down so that you can do them after the 31st. And whatever you discover or uncover, make sure you document that in your looking forward section of your e-commerce planner so that way you have a note of the important things and you can start working on a game plan for your business. All right. The next thing is to go through and review the prior year's stats and reports. So the reason that we do that is because we're getting ready to transition into planning for the new month. So we're going to go through and review the prior year's month-end stats, and we're going to compare our month-end for 2023, January, to last year's month-end. We're going to look at that data for the month of January to see, did we meet our numbers? Did we beat our numbers from last year? Are we growing? Are we making progress in our business? Are we gaining traction? Did we lose? Did we go backwards? Not necessarily like the stock market, but you go through and you look up the numbers. If you're selling stocks, then you want to see historically what has happened. So you're going through and you're checking to see, what things happen and what sold like crazy in the month of January, so that way, and what was a bust, so that way you can make a note for next year. And you can use that information potentially to help you to make some different decisions, or you could use that information to maybe continue selling some of those things into February. So we're going to go through and we're going to do a month-end analysis for the month of January of 2022, compared to how we did for January 2023. And we're going to go through and look at the stats for February of 2022. So that way we can start the process of beginning to build a game plan for February 2023. While we're at it, we might as well just look at the stats for the entire quarter. We should have already done that when we started our January planning, but go and look at your stats for 2022 for the entire quarter, so that way you know what you're shooting towards and you can determine whether or not you're trending towards those goals or not. So, if you had an average ROI that you met in 2022 for the quarter, where are you trending right now for that average for 2023? Number of units sold for 2022, if you're still selling the same or similar products, or are you listing and selling more products? Your price points, your average price points for 2022, and then where are you right now for your average price points and your profit margins for 2023? For the quarter and for the month, and then also get your data for February of 2022 so you have that to compare against. Okay? So go look at your previous year's stats, reports, and data, just so you have an idea of where you're going. This type of information is what causes businesses to grow, because now you have something to work towards. If you're that person that your business has been stagnant, you're not seeing any growth, you're not seeing anything happening in your business, it's because you're not doing the appropriate analysis. Much like companies who report their numbers to the stock exchange, You're conceptually doing the same thing because you need to know whether or not you're making progress and whether or not you're growing. You're your own board member for your own company. So, are you growing? Are you staying stagnant? Are you going backwards? This also gives you opportunity to analyze and figure out if you're going backwards, if you're not making progress. What is the cause? What's the culprit? Is it that you're sourcing products, you chose a new supplier, and so that new supplier is giving you crappy products, you're getting worse reviews than you did last year for the same product, and so now, there's one of my problems. Is it that you're selling your products for a lower price than you did last year? Maybe. Or, maybe you should be selling it for a higher price. So again, what is your challenge? Is it that you had more inventory quantities last year, but you have less cash flow this year? Again, it's going to help you to figure out where your challenge is. So go through and look at that data, pay close attention to it, so that way you can make better decisions and help grow your business in 2023. You're checking for the month, you're checking for the quarter. You're also doing some analysis so that you can compare the upcoming month and establish new goals for that upcoming month from last year. Okay. So now that we've kind of gone through and we're going to document our findings in the looking forward section of our planner. So that's you writing it in your notebooks. You have that piece of information at your fingertips. So now that you step through steps 1 through 4, now we're going to transition over to planning for the new month. The planning for the new month, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to review the upcoming holidays, major events, major activities that are coming up in the month of February. Okay. So typically, just going to be honest, if I'm doing this, I'm actually looking at this from a quarter standpoint. That's what I do. I'm not looking at February stuff just before February. I'm actually looking at quarter stuff. So I start plan a quarter in advance. So instead of planning a month in advance, I plan a quarter in advance. So in first quarter, I'm looking at second quarter holidays, daily holidays, monthly holidays, international holidays, major events, and major activities. Why? Because I need to order inventory maybe, or I need to create products if I'm doing print on demand for a quarter ahead. You don't just create the listing in real time. You create the listing in advance so that you have that product active and alive for a few weeks so you can get some traction on sales. Now, can you do it a month in advance? Yes, you can. There's some things that you can do a month in advance. But I would challenge you at this point in your monthly planning is not just to look at February, but to go ahead and take a gander at March. If you're not doing the quarterly concept, then go ahead and look at March. You can use Google, can help you. And also in the eCom planner, you can see all of the February holidays. You can see all of the holidays for the month of February, the daily holidays, monthly, and the international. You can do a Google search for major events that are happening in the February. So we already know. Super Bowl. Mardi Gras. We already know. We know. There's some stuff that's just happened in February. So, go write those things down that are major events, local or statewide or national or worldwide, that are coming up in the month of February, and take a gander at March. Okay. That may help inspire you on which products you need to sell or which listings need to go live, and to better prepare for that. So instead of going 1 month in advance, do 2. The next is you're going to perform some advanced planning, some advanced analysis. Oh, I jumped ahead of myself. Sorry. So, so you're going to go look at February, and then I did jump ahead of myself. You're going to review and analyze the information for the next 4 to 20 weeks. Ding, 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 ding. That's why I was saying that I don't just look at February. I go through and I look at all the other months. Now, you can use the information for February. I'm sure that's the reason why I wrote this down. You can use the information for February to help you determine if you're going to offer some sales or put together some bundle products, virtual bundle products or whatever. So just make a note of that stuff so you have it handy, and that will help you figure out what your weekly priorities are going to be and what your weekly objectives are going to be. So with the advanced planning, we're going to move on. You're going to review and analyze the next 4 to 20 weeks. That means that you're looking at March, you're looking at April, you're looking at May, and you're looking at June. So you are tackling second quarter. So you're looking at the March, and then you're tackling the rest of all of second quarter. Go through and look at the daily holidays, monthly, international, major events, whether it be major events that are local, statewide, or national or international, and then also activities that are coming up. So again, giving you the opportunity to be strategic about creating those listings, sourcing those products far in advance. And you're going to put that onto your planner, or you're going to put that in your notebook, or put it in your Google Sheet, or put it on your Google Calendar. Okay. You're going to do something with the information that you discover. You're going to document what you find in the looking forward section of the planner. Okay, so you're going to add that to the looking forward section of the planner. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to determine your stats goals for the new month. How many listings do you want to put up in the month of February? What are your sales goals for the month of February? What's your average ROI that you're working to achieve in the month of February? How many rework listings do you plan on working? How many hours do you plan on working in your business? So what are your plans for the month of February? In the month of February, I want to work X number of hours per week. Maybe you say I want to work 20 hours per week. And when working 20 hours per week, that's 80 hours for the month. So what are your goals for the month of February? What are your targets that you're going to shoot for? So you have some stats that you establish, and these are not all the stats, but you have your own stats that you're watching, you're monitoring, you're targeting. What are those for you? All right. The next step is to review the lessons learned section. We've been adding stuff to the lessons learned and to review your looking forward section and summarize everything in there. The thing you want to do is in your reviewing, you want to highlight the priorities and the goals that you want to carry forward into the month of February. And you want to make a note of where you are and what you want to target for the remaining part of first quarter. Okay. The remaining part of first quarter. So this will help you to build or establish your monthly goals and also your weekly priorities as you step through the month of February. All right. So where do you stand? How do you feel? What are you thinking? Okay. I'm getting ready to make a change to my spreadsheet here. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So now that we have gone through the process of kind of analyzing and reviewing, the last thing that we're going to do in our planning for next month and planning for our future success is we're going to go through and we're going to determine our budget that we need to build for the month of February. Looking at our expenses, knowing what your month end numbers are, what's your budget that you need to build for the month of February, and what budget did you build for the quarter, so you can go back and do analysis on that to see where you are. So the goal is to always be intentional. We're planning for our future success, and so we need to know where we stand, what progress have we made, what progress have we not made, where are we shooting for, and are we going to meet those targets? Are they realistic goals, and are they measurable goals? Were they measurable targets? Is it something that, based on our available time that we work in our business, the amount of money we have available to invest, and the time that we are committing to work, can we achieve or reach those goals? So now we're going to plan for the new month. We kind of got some ideas. We did some research. We did some reconnaissance. And we're going to begin to build our game plan for the month of February. And maybe, just maybe, eyeball where we are for the quarter. So the first piece is, again, we're taking our time to be intentional about the decisions that we're going to make for the month of February. We're taking our time to be intentional about the actions we're going to perform in our business in the month of February. Okay. And we're going to be very, very, very methodical and intentional about where we want to go in our business and what we're going to do to scale it. You just came off of January in this example, and you want to sustain or maintain that momentum that you're working to build in your business. Or if you feel like January is your do-over month and you're really starting the new year in February, okay, fine. Trust me, I understand that. I have to credit Barbara Draska for that quote because she put it on her Facebook wall. Maybe about, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. Maybe it was a week ago. I don't know. Everything's a blur at this point, but I get it. Sometimes you're just trying to lay the foundation in the month of January. And so you're really going to take off like a bottle rocket in the month of February. Whatever is happening, I get it. Okay. So if February is your new January, congratulations. But if February is your continuation of first quarter and, going into February for real, that's fine too. So let's put together a game plan that's going to make us successful or to help us to gain traction in our business. So the first one is we're going to pull out our personal online calendars. Your online calendar, if you work a 9 to 5, go and pull out your work calendar, pull out your personal calendar, and any other calendars that you've created. My calendar is ridiculous. Those people who know me or have gone to some of my trainings, they can see that I have a calendar that is crazy, but it allows me the opportunity to do the things that I need to get done. I always go back to the calendar so I can stay on track, and helps me make progress and not forget things for my kids. I also keep a checklist of things that need to get done for the day. So I get it. It's a combination of many things for me. But go look at your online calendar. Why do you need that? Because you're going to open up that beautiful eCom planner and you're going to start filling in stuff from your personal calendar. So you're going to use, if you have the eCom planner, you're going to use lines 1 and 2 to start populating the things that are on your online calendar. So online calendar would mean like maybe you have a meeting, a travel trip. They're going to go through and you guys are going to a conference for work. Maybe company holidays, maybe for a personal calendar, it could be your child. Like my child is in track, so maybe you want to note your track meets or soccer tryouts or baseball tryouts or whatever it happens to be that your child is participating in, or tournaments, things like that. If you are maybe going on spring break, I don't think that's going to happen in February. It might, but for the most part, that normally happens in March. But what are the things that are coming up that are personal related that you need to make a note of that are important enough to put onto your online calendar? Number 2 is you add any important things that have to do with your personal life, your spiritual journey. Maybe your church is having a conference, women's conference, men's conference, household duties and obligations, anything that's fitness related, financial activities that are coming up for the month. So maybe in the month of February, you're getting a physical so that you can get $1 million in life insurance. I don't know. Maybe you have, you're supposed to be getting an oil change on the 22nd. Maybe you're supposed to, buy new tires, or you have an appointment for somebody to come inspect your roof. Like, I don't know. You know what those things are. And any other household, maybe grandma's coming to visit or grandpa's coming to visit. So you want to put that on the calendar so that way you're not thrown off and surprised. It's already, grandma said, I'll be here on the 15th. So you're preparing for that visit and however long grandma's going to be there, because we know these are things that are potentially going to throw our routines off. So we just want to increase our awareness of that. And we're putting it in the beautiful eCom planner. So you just open it up, put it on lines 1 and 2. Then the next thing is we're going to go to our looking forward section. And that looking forward section is from steps 1 through 8 that we previously executed. Okay. So in steps 1 through 8, we're going to go through and we're going to add things to the month of February on lines 3 through 5 that we know are activities that we've already committed to focus on. So an example on lines 3 through 5 of your eCom planner, so you're on the month page in February. This is going to help you to build out your priorities for the week. So when I look at it, maybe the first week in February. Ooh, I'm off already. Maybe the first week in February, you're going to spend that time creating your listings for or activating your listings for St. Patty's Day. And you're also going to complete all of your month-end reports and closeout and get stuff to your accountant so you can get ready for your taxes. So maybe that's the priority for the first week in February. So you're going to put that on the lines. In the second week in February, maybe the priority is sourcing for Easter, or maybe you've already sourced for Easter. And so the second week in February, you're going to create Easter bundles. And you're going to create your Easter basket bundles or any other multi-item listings in the month of February. And maybe that's also, you're going to actually create them physically. And maybe you're going to ship them off to your fulfillment center, whether it be a Walmart fulfillment center or whether it be Amazon, or maybe you have, you're using Deliverr or whoever else. Okay. Maybe in the third week in February, you are sourcing for or doing product research for Mother's Day. So you're making a note that in the third week in February, you're doing research and sourcing for Mother's Day. And then in the fourth week in February, maybe you're sourcing for Mother's Day and Cinco de Mayo. I don't know. And then the fourth week in February, maybe you're sourcing or for Father's Day, or maybe you're creating print-on-demand designs for Mother's Day. Again, figuring out what the priorities are for each week so that you're being intentional about the progress you're going to make and the things you want to sell and present to the public in the month of February. So those are just sort of ideas that I just popped off the top of my head. They're not in my planner, okay? They're just ideas. So what are your targets and your goals that you want to extract from your analysis and looking forward, and write those activities and things that you want to focus on in the month of February. Also, while you're at it, which is not here, you need to go ahead and you need to, again, if you didn't already do so, you built your budget. So since we build our budget, let's see what we put for our goals. What are the numbers? So this particular activity, I'm going to invest X number of dollars in the inventory for this and X number of dollars in the inventory for that. Or what's my cash flow situation going to be? These are the things that got to get listed so I can take that cash and reinvest it back into this, that kind of stuff. These are things that you need to think about. You need to be mindful of, you need to be aware of. Okay. All right. So once you start filling in lines 3 through 5, and it's going to take you a little bit to fill in lines 3 through 5 of your February planner, then we're going to go through and we're going to use that information to populate our weekly template. How does what we're writing out tie to what our weekly template is? So an example might be, maybe you have time blocks on your daily calendar that are part of your weekly template where you're going to list from 8 to 9 every single day, Monday through Saturday. So 8 to 9, I'm listing. If you're writing down that you're listing, what are you listing? What are the priority things that you're listing for week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4? If you have a time block for sourcing, okay, and I'm sourcing from 9 to 10. Maybe that's what I'm doing. Just an example, just making stuff up. If I'm sourcing from 9 to 10 in your February planner, what are you sourcing week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4? Priority things that you're sourcing for the week. Again, that forces you to think about how I can gain momentum and sustain momentum in my business. If you have a product research, maybe that's from 10 to 11. I forget the times that I said before. So if I overlap, I'm sorry. So from 10 to 11, if that's the case, from 10 to 11, then what are the things that I am doing product research on week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4? And I probably have these out of order, but my point is, you can do product research, then sourcing. But anyway, and then, or niche research or whatever you want to do there. But you want to make a note of those things. You also want to make a note if there are targets that you want to hit in the month of February when you need to get your shipments off to Amazon FBA. So if this is a shipment that is for your Easter bundles and multi packs that you created, when ideally do you need to get that shipped off to Amazon for that to impact your business? Maybe that's something you say, okay, week one, I need to be intentional about. So this is a priority to get my bundles created so that week two, I can get them shipped off to Amazon, or I can get them shipped off to Walmart WFS. Because again, most of those platforms, you know that they have a window in which they can check things in. Typically, it's up to 2 weeks. They most likely check them in much, much faster than that. But the point is, they can allow up to 2 weeks. So what does that do to your business if they take the full 2 weeks, depending on where they want you to ship it? So keep those types of things in mind as you are building this out. I really need to, maybe in the end of this first week in January is when you create your bundles, and in February you want to get them shipped off. So you need to just decide what the priorities are and when these things need to be listed, when do these things need to be shipped in order for you to gain some traction. Because when you think about it, when people are creating listings for Easter or for Valentine's Day, they're not creating the listing on Valentine's Day. The listing existed long before Valentine's Day started. Okay, so the listing existed probably on December the 25th. So that's the reality. Your listings need to be up anywhere from 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 weeks in advance. So that's why we do this planning, so we can be strategic about what it is we want to source and sell. We're intentional about that. Okay. So go through and fill it in your calendar so that you don't lose those things. And you are reminded that this week I need to focus on XYZ. This week I need to focus on this XYZ. And those become your priorities for the week. In addition to your priorities for your family or for your household or for your pets. Maybe your dog gets his shots and whatever. So there's just things that we all do. Or maybe you intended to plant your spring flowers the last week in February. Again, things that are important to you. Okay. Or any important lunch dates or dinner dates, or, my son he's going to be going to Tim Tebow's Night to Shine. And so deal. It's February the 10th. So that's on my calendar as a priority. I got to make sure his tux is ready. I got to make sure his shoes are ready. I got to make sure that he's got some kind of flower. I mean, all of these things. I got to make sure his hair is cut. These are all important things. So those are the priorities for me, in addition to running my business. So you're going to have priorities that have absolutely nothing to do with your business, and you're going to have priorities that matter. And those are the things that should be showing up on your February calendar. Okay? Things that have to do with your business and things that have nothing to do with your business. Okay. So then the next step in this process is to add your goals, your top goals for the month of February. Now, I would first pull out my quarterly goals and see where we stand for the quarterly goals that you established. If you didn't establish quarterly goals, this is a good time to write down some targets for quarterly goals. So what are your top monthly goals? Maybe for the quarter, your goal is to get 1,000 listings up. You would divide that by 3, so you know how much you need to get listed for each month. And then you would divide that by the number of weeks in each month, so you know how many you have to get listed each week. And then you would divide that by the number of days you plan on working each week to figure out how many listings you need to create each day. So again, what are your goals? Monthly goals. What are you shooting for? The next thing is your income producing goals. Well, we already know listing is an income producing goal. So what are your other income producing goals, or things that are income retaining, income generating goals? Things that are going to generate income for you, and things that will allow you to retain income. So what are your goals for the month? Maybe you're a person, you fulfill your orders a little later than planned. And so your goal is to fulfill your orders same day or within one day. Maybe that's a goal for February 2023. Maybe your income producing goal is to go through and rework 2 or 3 listings. Or maybe your income producing goal is to actually learn how to optimize your listings, or how to use ChatGPT to create better listings. So again, Something to think about. What are your administrative and ops and your VA related goals? What are your goals for your VAs? What are your goals for your business administrative and operations? So maybe one of your goals is to get your taxes over to your CPA no later than February the 15th or no later than February 28th. If that's a goal, you're making that a priority. In which weeks are you going to focus on that? Maybe you're going to put it as a priority in your top 5 because you get 5 priorities for the week, and maybe it's priority number 5. And so you're going to spend week 1 and week 2 and week 3 making sure you've compiled everything from 2022 so that in week 3 of February, priority number 5, you get that stuff over to your accountant. So again, what are the administrative and operational and VA goals for the month? And then what's your ads, your traffic, your marketing goals for the month? So an example of that is maybe you don't cross list as often as you feel like you should, and you feel like you would get more traction if you did. So maybe you have a target goal of cross listing or cross sharing your top 20 listings every week. And so once a week, or maybe 3 times a week, or maybe you have a VA do it, or maybe you have software do it, you make sure that you get those listings over to other platforms in a timely manner. Your top 20 big ticket items get cross-shared on the other platforms. So again, or you're running ads, you're closing out the month of January, so you're putting things on sale. What are the things you're going to do to drive traffic? What are your marketing plans? What are your ads plans? Okay. And then the last thing that you're going to do, so you're going to establish those in your ecom planner, or you're going to write them on your page 3. What are your goals that you're going to establish for the month? Okay, or for the quarter, see where you are for the quarter and reverse engineer those numbers. And then your remaining thing is to add any major holidays or events to line 1 of your ecom planner or to your big planner. Add them to line 1 so you know what you're targeting, you're shooting for. Okay. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you use it to help you to build out your monthly plan for the month of February. And I hope you use it to kind of see where you stand for the quarter, and that you make the progress that you're wanting to make in your e-commerce business. Because hopefully I gave you a lot of stuff to think about. When you're going to do your taxes this month, when you're going to order inventory this month, when are you going to check for expiration dates this month? When are you going to run your reports for this month? All of that stuff goes on lines 3 through 5 of your planner and of the monthly page of the planner. All right. And if you want to turn the page in the ecom planner and go ahead and fill in the priorities, now that you know what the priorities are, because you can grab them directly from your ecom planner monthly pages, which is fantastic. Makes it easier for you to build in the priorities for the week. Got your personal and your business. So again, I hope this is a blessing to you. Please share this out with a friend. Let somebody else know about the monthly and the quarterly planning session. Then go through and see where you stand and what progress you've made for the month of January. Pat yourself on the back, celebrate your wins, be prepared to tighten it up for the things that maybe didn't go as planned, and clear the runway so that you have an opportunity to run and win in the month of February and the rest of first quarter. So my name is Nicole Whitlock, and my passion is helping people along their e-commerce journey, helping them to get focused, get organized, get consistent in their business. If that's you, I'm here for you. You can schedule a free 20-minute coaching session by going to ecommsellers.com, clicking on free resources, and scheduling a free 20-minute coaching session. You can also join eCom Sellers Academy if you're looking for some support along your journey. With eCom Sellers Academy, it is terribly affordable. It's $17.99 a month, or you can sign up for the lifetime and get a free e-commerce planner. You just go to ecommsellersacademy.com, and then once you sign up, you'll get a free arbitrage leads list every week, a free wholesale list every week. You'll also gain access to a training library of over 200 training videos, and you get a live weekly training along with the live weekly Q&A if you go to ecommsellersacademy.com right now to join. And then last but not least, if you don't already have an e-commerce planner, I would encourage you to do it. It makes it so much easier to do your monthly and your quarterly planning. So you're being intentional and planning for your future success. You can go to myecomplanner.com right now to grab the 2023 Ecom Planner. It was created for sellers by sellers, and it is the ultimate e-commerce planner. So go to myecomplanner.com right now to grab the e-commerce planner. So with that, my name is Nicole Whitlock, and my wish for you is that you have an extremely focused, highly productive, and very profitable day. We are going to say goodbye for now. We're live on Clubhouse, so if you want to continue the conversation, you can go over there and we can continue talking about your business. So with that, have a blessed one, and we'll say goodbye for now.